Hi lovely people, it's me Jessica Hicks, corporate recruiter, and I am back with another video. And this one actually is a video response I'm doing to a poll that I made in my community tab. So you all responded with what is the worst, absolute worst job interview question, and the answer was, what is your biggest weakness? That is the question that people do not like, and so I want to talk about it. This question, what is your biggest weakness? A lot of interviewers will ask the question so that they can get a better understanding of, what are some things that you may need to work on or learn as you move into a role. And it also gives some light into how you deal with having a weakness. We all have weaknesses, right? So my biggest piece of advice is to first absolutely do not respond with a weakness that would disqualify you from the job. So for example, for myself, if I were interviewing for a recruiter job, I know that recruiters have to communicate well. So I would not respond with, my biggest weakness is that I have a really tough time communicating with people. Well, that would disqualify me from the job. So just avoid saying anything that would disqualify you from the job. That shouldn't be a weakness anyway. If the job requires certain things, those should not be weaknesses. But sometimes people get nervous and they just blurt out anything. So just make sure you're not blurting out something that would disqualify you from the job. The next thing that I would say to do with answering the question, what is your biggest weakness, would be making sure that you are not saying something that is very generic. So you're not saying, oh, I'm a perfectionist, or oh, I work too hard. Those answers are played out. No one wants to hear about that. We know it's not really real. Really think about answering this question. Just be prepared to answer it so you have something that you can talk about. So use a real life weakness that doesn't sound like gibberish. The next piece of advice I have with answering the question, what is your biggest weakness, would be to ensure that you can have an example that you can talk about where you are taking actions towards that weakness that you have. So you can actually say, I have this weakness, here's what I've done to work on this weakness, or here's how I've actually kind of overcome this and made it better, so it's not as big of a weakness. So for example, for me, I would talk about Microsoft Excel. So a big weakness of mine was using Microsoft Excel. It just did not come naturally to me. And what I did, since I didn't need it in my just day-to-day work so much, but I did want to use it to just organize things a bit better for myself, I ended up taking classes online just to help me get some of the basics down and use some of the more advanced functions so that I could organize things with my work. So now I'm at a point where I've been able to get better at using Excel. It's helped me organize my job requisitions. It's helped me with managing some candidate pipelines and just general information that I would otherwise not so easily be able to reference. It's helped me a lot there. It's also helped me in my personal life. I've been able to make a budget more seamlessly, and it's just been great overall and has helped with better organization. So that's a response that I would give. Again, Microsoft Excel is not something that is a big requirement for recruiters. However, for me, I was able to spin it around to show how I've been able to actually address having a weakness and show that I'm willing to learn. So if you can share an example like that, it looks really good. So you're turning a question that could be a negative to a positive, and you're highlighting how you're able to address weaknesses and recognize your weaknesses and actually do something about it, and your willingness to actually learn and get better at certain things that just don't come naturally to you. So I hope this video helps with anyone who is extremely nervous with answering the question, what is your biggest weakness? And if you like the video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Overall, I just say avoid any response that would disqualify you as a candidate. Make sure you're not giving a generic response, and to be prepared to answer a question with something that you can actually shift to showing how you positively address your weaknesses. So thank you so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed to me already, definitely subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, lovely people.